wasn't bad to go to Frank.
You're going to have to tell yourself that. Now we both need to sleep.
Yeah. You know, there's always been one thing I was sure of, and that was no matter how bad things got, I love you, and you loved me, and I knew I'd have a safe place to stay.
I'm glad that I helped, and now I'd like you to leave.
Leave?
Yeah. Come on.
No! You can't. You're the only person I've got left. No. You love me. I know you do.
You're not staying. We are not starting up again. Now, there was too much damn pain in ending it. Look, I am sorry for you, for the misery you're going through, but I can't be your protector, or your father, or your lover. No, I can't, Kim.
No! Let me in, please. Let me in. Please let me in. Please let me in. Please let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Good morning.
Only in New York. In London, it is mid-afternoon. And by the time we arrive, the sun will be setting over the British Empire, which it does do, despite rumors to the contrary. Have you ever seen an English sunset? Good morning. Are the two of you almost ready?
I am, but I was just about to call you. Frank's not going to be able to join us.
Anything wrong?
Oh, no.
Jill, is that...
Well, it's a little complicated. I'll explain it all to you on the plane, but the basic situation is this. As of last night, Frank received the evidence he needs to clear his name in Washington.
Hey, congratulations. I was looking forward to the chance to get to know him better, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Listen, the car will be by to pick you up in about a half an hour. I got a couple errands to do first, so I'll meet you at the plane, okay?
Fine. I'll see you there.
I'm looking forward to it.
Goodbye.
I bet he's disappointed.
He said to congratulate you. Are you sure that you don't mind what...
No, honey, look, we talked about this, but I don't know what's going to happen today, okay? I'm going to be running around, and by the time you get back, I'll have laid out all the groundwork, and you'll be here for all the important stuff. Now, go on, finish packing.
What are you going to be doing?
Well, I can't call the Senate Ethics Committee for at least another hour, so I'll probably just pace. A lot. So, and probably Jack. I'll be answering the phone, too. I asked Dot to have him come over, so talk about it.
May I come in?
I don't think we have anything to say to each other, Red.
Please, Frank? Thank you.
Kimberly was there last night. She handed me the documents outlining the deal with NLW Industries. Original copies, including some handwritten notes to and from you and Samuel Snow. She found them hidden in your apartment. She hid them in a post office box on 34th Street. I just wanted you to know that in case you were planning to deny it to you. I don't want to play any more of those games, all right?
I wouldn't.
No.
Is that Jack? I can't wait to see him.
I would like to talk to you alone, if I may. All right. Obviously, I'm not going to deny anything. I did make the deal with Samuel Snow. Backing for the vice presidential nomination in return for your letters of endorsement. I had you sign the letters along with a pile of others. Prayed you wouldn't notice, and you didn't. I don't have to tell you the rest.
No, you don't.
But I also don't have to tell you why I did it, Frank. I wanted you to have everything you could, and that would have been just the beginning.
And so you lied and manipulated?
And you wanted it, too. Look, however inappropriate or wrong those letters might have been, they were more than outweighed by the good they ultimately would have done. Everything you and I had talked about and dreamed about would have happened. It all would have been real.
On whose terms?
I believed in you.
You didn't even know me.
Oh, I loved you. You gotta know that. You've got to know.
I don't know anything about us. About what we wanted. About what we planned for and needed. I don't think I ever did. I'll tell you one thing. No matter how many times you went behind my back, No matter how many times you lied. Yeah, Ray. I trusted you. I believed in you. And all you were doing was pulling the strings. And yes, I even loved you. God help me.
Oh, now, wait a minute. You knew the person I was. You knew I made things happen, and you let me. You let me do what had to be done so you could afford to hang on to your honesty and your integrity. I protected you.
You've protected me from what you created. I didn't ask for that protection. I didn't want it, and I certainly didn't need it.
Oh, yes, you did need me. You let me get you into the Senate.
I would have gotten there anyway, Ray.
Maybe in 10 years, if you were lucky.
I had all the time in the world. You helped me. I'm not denying that, but don't you dare tell me you did it for me.
No. No, I'm not. I did it for us. Because I loved you. And I took it away for the same reason, Frank. It was wrong, but I went a little crazy. I don't use that word very often, but I was hurting so much, and I was so sad. I just wanted you to feel everything that I was feeling. So I did. I sent those letters to Jack, and I've regretted it ever since.
So have I.
I hated what I did, Frank. I hated myself.
Then why didn't you do something about it?
I couldn't.
You could have cleared Frank's name without hurting yourself.
How?
You would have found a way. If you had wanted to.
Frank, I'm just asking you to please think about what could happen to me. I'm begging for mercy. They could send me to jail. Please don't let it happen. I'm asking for my life.
I am going to give that evidence to the Senate Ethics Committee, and I'm going to ask for an immediate hearing. After that, it's out of my hands.
No.
Goodbye, Ray.
No, Frank, please, if you ever...
Goodbye, Ray.
I loved you. Remember that.
You heard? I heard. Johnny woke me up at 6 in the morning, told me the whole story twice. Now, where's the paper?
Right over here.
Oh, Jack. Oh, how are you?
I'm okay. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We'll talk when I get back.
I heard about your trip. Have a good time.
Yeah, between business. Bye-bye.
Let me help you take
No,
it.
are you sure this is okay?
Go.
I'll call you tonight. And my heart's with you.
I know that.
I love you.
I'm not sure what kind of position that puts you in working on Ray's paper, but I wanted you to have first crack at this story.
Well, when Ray hired me, I told her I write what I write. That's how it is. No interference. If he doesn't want to print it, there are other papers.
Okay, good. Now, I have to call the Senate Ethics Committee. What time is it?
5 to 9.
Okay, I have to request a hearing, and then I have to probably go down there today, maybe tomorrow. I'd like you to go down there, Jack. You won't be able to be allowed into the actual hearing.
I'll be there. Thanks. In the meantime, I got plenty here to start on the background information. You know, it's just lucky I got back here just in time.
How you doing?
Well, I'm getting it together. I wish she could be here for this.
I know. I can almost hear her, you know.
Yeah.
How's Siobhan?
That's been rough. Thinking about going away for a while, maybe visit Pat. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I want to see her. But I asked you what time it was, right?
Relax. They'll be in their offices any minute, and you can call. Take it easy. You know, you got a lot of work ahead of you today. You're going to burn yourself out before you ever get to Washington.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
The chairman of the Ethics Committee. He listened while I laid it out for him, briefly, and all he said was, "Good, Frank. I'm delighted to hear it." And he would have John Bigelow get right back to me.
Oh, who's John Bigelow?
He is the counsel for the Ethics Committee. John was on the phone to me within 3 minutes, and I laid it out for him in detail. Exactly what the evidence is, how and where it came from, why Kimberly turned it over to me, and then some pretty straight talk about why Ray was mad enough to frame me in the first place. John said, "Terrific, Frank. I'm delighted to hear this, and I'd like to set up a conference call with some other members of the committee." At which point he said they'll get right back to me. In 3 minutes, they called me up. I had to go through the whole routine again, and so tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we have a hearing scheduled.
Oh,
They don't waste any time at all.
wonderful, Frank.
Great news. They're going to subpoena Ray?
And Kim,
What's going to happen to Ray?
that depends.
On what?
Well, after the hearing itself, the committee will examine all the evidence and reach a conclusion.
That say that she set you up, she framed you, and ruined your career because she was jealous of you.
Something like that. At which point, if prosecution is warranted, a complaint can be filed, turned over to the Justice Department, and Ray will eventually stand trial.
How long will that take?
Well, it's pretty hard to say. The hearing itself won't last past tomorrow. They're fairly cut and dried. After that, Ray's lawyers will appeal, they'll stall, they'll fiddle around, so it's anybody's guess.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. What counts is the name is clear. The name is clear, and you're free to run for public office. Anytime in the future you decide that's what you want,
I
right?
have to admit that thought has crossed my mind.
I'm so happy for you, Frank, and for all of us. I wish Mary were here.
She is. Ma, you haven't said a word. Come on.
Oh, I'm just standing here thinking how proud of you I am. Not because you can prove to the rest of the world what we've all known all along, that you didn't sell out and that your word is good. No, it's because you've come through all of this and more. The loss of your nearly, sickness of your child. With so much bravery, so much generosity of spirit. I admire you more than I can say, son.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what gets me is why everybody's so surprised that it's Ray.
Oh, I thought it was her all along. I said
Yes, you did, Bob. You
Yeah, and I have a little less generous spirit than you do. I mean, I want to see her get what's coming to her.
I suspect Ray is pretty miserable right at the moment. She hasn't even started to pay for what she's done. I mean, your only child, the idea of it being so bitter and angry to do a thing like this?
Yeah, I think Maeve's right. I think it's just beginning for Ray.
Where's Jack?
He's upstairs, pounding away his typewriter.
Yeah, he's getting all that background material organized. He wants to see you as soon as you're done with the family.
Why don't you take care of business then, son? We'll see you later.
Okay, come on, Bob. I wanna talk.
I'm with you.
And I think I better get to my soup. Now, you watch your time, young lady. Where are your bags?
Out in the kitchen.
All
I'm
right.
all set. So, I hope Patty doesn't hear the news before I have a chance to tell him and see his face.
I think you beat the news to San Antonio. I only wish you could be here to share it with us as it happened.
Well, I thought of postponing the trip, but then this really is the right thing for me to do, Daddy. The most important thing for me now is to take a fresh look at myself, think of the people I love, and some old feelings. And what better way to do that than to start a new trip?
You know, we haven't heard word one about when we can expect you back.
It's okay, Daddy. I'm not going to be gone permanently. I thought maybe after I stop and check on Pat, maybe I'd go out to the coast for a little while.
Well, what does that mean? A little while? Days? Weeks? What?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I just... somewhere in between there. Let me stay loose on that for a while, okay? I'll call you up from San Antonio.
Better call us up. How come? I think there's something more involved here than you're needing to be alone for a while, or you're wanting to see your brother. What?
Maybe it's because you know me so well.
Siobhan, will you?
Daddy, I can't explain it right now. Maybe it's because I really don't have it all straight myself. But I will. Trust me?
I always have. Well, I have, sweetheart. In the most fundamental way. And I always will.
Would someone tell me what's going on? I just called the office for Jill. George is hysterical. Is it true?
Of course it's true. Maeve tried to call you.
Yeah, Frank has a hearing before the ethics committee tomorrow.
That's only the best news in months, if not ever. Where is he?
Well, you did say.
Here. He's right here accepting telegrams, notes, apologies from the party.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I don't know what to do.
No, you're doing fine.
How do we celebrate?
Well, maybe we should wait for the hearing to get over, and then I'd like to have a party for the neighborhood right here in Rhines, if that's okay, John.
Well, what do you think?
You're going to miss it, Fink.
Ah, maybe not. Maybe Pat and I'll come back.
Siobhan's going up to San Antonio for a few days, Faith.
Oh,
Oh. Well, give my love to Pat, will you?
I certainly will.
One more question.
Sure.
What is Jill doing in London at a time like this?
Well, Ken had some more personal appearance contracts that he wanted to get out of. He asked Jill to handle it. I was supposed to go, but then Kimberly came over with the papers. So.
Well, how could she bear to leave?
Well, there was no reason why she shouldn't go. I mean, this stuff is very important to Ken. I was very surprised. I mean, I had practically had to shove her on the plane. I really did not realize the ethics committee was going to act as quickly as they did.
Well, when's she coming back?
Tomorrow, so she won't miss much.
Oh, well, then I don't feel so bad.
Darling, heaven knows I don't want to be rushing you off, but I'm beginning to panic about that plane.
Oh.
Hello, Faith. Isn't it splendid news?
Oh, it is. Listen, if I leave now, I'm going to do just fine.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.
We'll call you as soon as we know something definite.
And we'll stand by. I love you.
Love you.
Oh. Daddy?
You'll be good now.
Okay, what else?
Me? Oh, my darling. All right, give my love to Patrick and get your head straight, please, so you can come back soon.
Yes, on all counts. Lots of love.
Oh, you too, love.
Well, I better get the taxi.
Now, did you say goodbye to Jack?
Any help with that? No.
Oh, well, I talked to him before I came downstairs, but he was working, you know, so... Will you send me his article?
Oh, put it in the mail.
Terrific.
Another thing.
Bye-bye. It's all.
Bye, sweetheart. You call us when you get there, huh?
Yes, I'll call for sure.
John, there's just more there than we know, huh?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, this makes it official.
Your resignation. I was hoping you wouldn't go through with it.
I'm really sorry to be leaving Riverside, but this is too good a deal to turn down. I've always wanted to combine neurology and psychiatry, and this Pennsylvania project seems to be the perfect thing.
You'd be at a state hospital.
Yeah, I'll be studying with Dr. Charles. He's a fascinating man, a Renaissance type. He's the architect and contractor for his own building right now. I'll have my office waiting for me when I'm certified. Assuming, of course, that small-town life appeals to me and I decide to stay.
Yeah, well, for our sake, I hope you're out to the big city. Good luck to you, Adam.
Thank you.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Kimberly Harris.
Look, Seneca, I'll see you before I leave.
Right. Who sent you to me?
I was told you might know her whereabouts. Subpoena.
I have no idea where she is.
Hello.
Roger Seneca, I'd like to talk to Ray, please.
Just a second. Seneca.
What does he want?
Well, I'll ask you.
No. All right. Thank you. Yes, Seneca.
Look, a process server was just in my office looking for Kimberly, in case you sent him.
I didn't.
Okay, well, I'm telling you anyway. I will not get involved. Now, I had to send her away last night. Probably the toughest thing I've ever had to do, Ray. I just want out of it, do you understand? I cannot love her and have her sobbing outside my door and keep my sanity.
Well, then why don't you tell her, Seneca? Because I want out of it, too. I don't want to have anything to do with her ever again. And I'm sorry if you're so unhappy, and I am very sorry if the process server upset you. I'm afraid you're just going to have to manage on your own, though, because I got a few problems of my own.
Good to see you.
It's good to be here, Jim. Really good.
Yeah, for all of us, easy does it. Now relax and make the most of it.
We missed you, Jim. Frank. I hope we can talk later. I'd like that. Thank you, Bob.
Frank, I checked out at headquarters. There's no trace of Kim. Apparently she dropped out of sight.
Francis X. Well, gentlemen, we fast enough for you?
You're amazing. You're amazing. I know how impossible it is to get everyone together, even with weeks of notice.
Well, actually, the minute they heard the agenda, who's your attorney?
Well, a nice guy named Francis X. Ryan.
This one is all mine, John.
All right, well, we'll start soon. You know, thank heaven we're getting this all straightened out. Inside.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll have to manage without Kimberly then, huh?
You can do it, Frank.
Excuse me.
Mrs. Woodard, you'll only upset
No,
yourself.
excuse me.
I'd like to speak with Frank alone for a moment, please.
Don't ask me.
There's no point, right?
Please. I tried to find you last night. I found your mother instead. I can't defend myself to Maeve or Jillian or those men in there.
Or to me, right?
No, but I can ask you to remember. No one else knows how much I loved you, Frank. I cared more about you than I ever had about anyone else in my whole life or ever will again. Just think about it, please. Just imagine Jill walking out on you, the love of your life, the only reason for everything, just gone with a polite apology, Frank.
Tell it to the committee, Ray. Work on them.
I don't have a legal defense. My lawyers can't argue emotions, love. I can't testify about the things that are still ripping me up on the inside, and even if I could, I would get only contempt. You're my only hope for mercy, Frank, please.
Mr. Ryan, the committee is in session. You're called to testify.
Remember, where is the love of his life?
Well, if you're talking about Jill, she's in London on business.
Not going to be in on the kill, huh?
Bob Reed and my 3 secretaries routinely gave me papers to sign. Sometimes I would dictate a batch of letters, add my signature to them, and not reread any of them. Other times, I would write essentially the same letter to 10 or 12 different people, sign them all, and read only the ones on top. In other words, gentlemen, it would not have been difficult for someone to slip that endorsement letter in among the others. I've always figured that's how I was tricked into signing it. Now I know for sure. Mrs. Woodard is the one who set me up.
Did her daughter tell you that when she brought you these originals?
Mrs. Woodard told me that herself yesterday.
John, could we pass these documents around? I think we'd all like to have a look.
Sure.
Thank you.
You mean Mrs. Woodard has made a confession to you?
In the process of asking for whatever consideration I could give her, yes, she admitted everything. Now, she had planned to maneuver me into a position whereby I might be nominated for the vice presidency. Later, she put me out of politics altogether.
I'm particularly struck by this memo from Sam Snow. Frank, how and when did the daughter get hold of this evidence?
How, I don't know. When, at least a few weeks ago, maybe more. I'm very sorry that Miss Harris is not available to testify. She was very anxious to the other night.
Well, perhaps her mother can offer an explanation. Gentlemen, any more questions?
Well, the only questions I have are for Mrs. Woodard.
Ask Ms. Woodard to come in, please.
Mrs. Woodard?
Yes?
Come in, please.
I want to talk to Johnny about his supplier. I'm thinking of making a switch. I want to make the decision before I go to the bank.
Oh. Delia John's out.
Oh. Guess I'll go to the bank first. C'est la vie.
You seem in a fine fettle today.
Yes, I am. My goodness, your friend, Mrs. Woodard's in a lot of trouble, though. They may have to send her away for years. Fraud, conspiracy, illegal use of mails, who knows what else. Hope she didn't murder anybody. What do you think?
I think you ought to run along to the bank.
Oh, it's funny you still talk to me like I'm a little girl, when actually I'm a rich and important, complicated and mature woman. I'm also in love.
Sometimes it's too heavy a cross to bear to mind one's own business.
New male Ryan appears on the horizon and Delia's hooked. It's sad, though. Unlike his cousins, Barry uses people.
Oh, Mr. Ryan, how goes it with you?
Perfect. Where's Delia?
She's been here, but she left.
She
a
left
while
the
ago.
trail of breadcrumbs. Just follow your nose.
Well, nice to see you, Doctor. Really? No, not really, but maybe it's fortuitous.
Fortuitous means accidental. That's exactly what this meeting is. Maybe the word you're looking for is fortunate, propitious, auspicious, providential.
I'll begin to see what she means.
Does she refer to as my wife?
Well, if that's an example of how you patronize Delia, I'm surprised she put up with you as long as she did.
Kindly leave. Either that or stay absolutely silent.
Look, I don't want to offend you or intrude where I'm not wanted.
That's precisely what you're doing. You are offensive and intrusive. Now, you will not explain my wife to me.
The way I see it, everyone's got so used to treating her like a child they don't notice what's happened. She's grown up. She's a mature, complicated woman.
Oh, Kevin, did you hear that? My line was strong and independent. Now it's mature and complicated. That's wonderful. Barry, you are a delight. You are a complete and thorough idiot. Now, are you going to leave or shall I?
She wants her freedom.
So you can walk all over her? Sure. Why not? You want your freedom? You're welcome to it. You're going to wreck your life, but you're too much of a mature and complicated woman for me to protect you. If you want a divorce tomorrow, just ask.
What happened to him?
Oh, he's all wound up.
Barry,
Darling, I'm sorry. You didn't need to walk into that.
why? We never talked about divorce.
I don't know. Maybe it's my fault.
How?
I don't know. I came in, he went after me. I got my back up a little. I didn't like the way he was talking about you.
What did he say?
No, I don't even remember. It's not important anyway.
Yes, it is. I want to know. He said I'm stupid, right? He said I can't take care of myself? You say the Crystal Palace is just dumb luck? Don't tell me. I can hear it.
Was he always that abusive to you?
No. At least I didn't take it that way. I thought he was helping me, but maybe...
Look, I hate to see you going through this. And if I'm making it worse, we can cool it for a while. He wants you to stay away from me. For your sake, I'll do it.
For my sake, Barry, I need you. Roger doesn't have anything to do with that, and if he can't understand that, then maybe I should consider it, though.
A divorce.
Yeah. I've been trying to go slow, but maybe I should consider divorce very seriously.
Questions are these, Miss Woodard. Did you conspire with the late Samuel Addison Snow to set up a secret vice presidential campaign for Mr. Ryan? And having done so, did you place the blame on Mr. Ryan?
The truth is that Mr. Snow approached me.
The word conspire is a problem, Senator. Rather than characterize...
All right. Let me put it this way, then. Now, Snow backed an NLW employee named Raymond Leclerc for the Electronic Regulatory Commission. Now, he needed members of the Senate to back Leclerc. Now, in public, Mr. Ryan refused. But in private, this letter of endorsement was sent to the commission. The signature has been verified as Mr. Ryan's. He claims no knowledge of it. Now, Ms. Woodard, did you arrange for this signed letter? Did you make a deal with Snow? Something like the endorsement in return for a crack at the vice presidency?
I do wish that life were all that simple, gentlemen. Actually, it was Sam Snow who thought about Frank for the vice presidency. He had behind him the funds of NLW Enterprises. That is several billions, as you know. And I was more or less coerced into
Please, did you work with Mr. Snow as I've suggested, yes or no?
There's no need to answer that simply unless you wish to. I believe this committee accepts fuller statements from its witnesses. Perhaps you should start at the beginning.
Yes. One day, Sam Snow came into the office and approached Frank with money. He was turned down flat. He then turned to me. The approach was very heavy-handed. He made it clear. I felt... I was afraid that he would undermine Frank's position if I didn't find some way.
Mrs. Woodard is under considerable stress. May she begin again?
Of course.
A few minutes recess might be in order.
No. No, I'm going to say it and be done with it. I conspired with Sam Snow. He was desperate for a letter of endorsement, and I was desperate for a shot at the vice presidency for Frank. NLW Enterprises backed the so-called grassroots movement for Ryan. It's all in those papers you have. It almost worked. I did it. I undid it. And I have regretted it bitterly, start to finish.
Did you have any further dealings with NLW after Snow's death?
The time has come for me to tell you about Sam Snow. He could be bought and sold, but basically he was a decent man. He came to my home with those documents. It's incriminating stuff. He never should have written it. He was sorry. Very nice. Very sorry. He gathered all of it up and he gave it to me. And he died. The heart attack occurred in my apartment. He died sitting in a chair in my living room.
Mrs. Woodard, Senator Bigelow, I request that this be stricken from the record.
No. I want it in the record. Once and for all, he died in my apartment. I paid people. He was taken to a hospital. I was kept out of it. And you won't get those names. I've forgotten them. Afterwards, I used the documents against Frank. I sent them to Jack Finelli and to other reporters. I then lied to the FBI. I covered my tracks. Frank bore the brunt of it. He was innocent. And I am, like Sam, so very sorry.
Why?
You needn't go into that.
Oh, because I loved Frank Ryan and he left me. It's, hell has no fury like a woman scorned, Senator. That's a very old story, isn't it? It, is rather trite, and it's common as dirt, isn't it?
You realize you're subject to prosecution. Your case will have to be referred to the Justice Department.
That's another matter, Senator. Mrs. Woodard needn't respond to any question that touches on criminal prosecution. Guard your rights, please.
Oh, don't worry. Or anything worth staying through. Oh, God, if you would
You're
just...
dismissed, Mrs. Woodard.
Well, there's no point in speculating. We'll have to wait and see.
You don't have to do that. Tell me.
All things considered, I don't think we could have hoped for anything more. They had the facts. It may have been just as well that you laid it all out.
Am I going to prison? Eric, the truth.
There's no reason to believe Mr. Ryan won't press charges. If he refers this to the Justice Department, Of course, we can get postponements. If the trial goes badly, we'll appeal. It's an uphill battle, but there's a chance.
I'm sorry, this is a closed hearing. No press.
All right.
All right.
Jack, here on family business, or is it professional?
Working for your paper. Care to tell me what just went on in there?
Before we proceed, or rather, in addition to and as an extension of what we've now learned, I feel there's something that needs to be said. Mr. Ryan, Frank, I believe I speak for the members of this committee as well as for your former colleagues in offering you our apologies for the doubt and suspicion under which you've had to live for the past 9 months. Our regret is tempered only by the pleasure we now take in the results of this hearing.
Thank you.
I'd like to add that, though of course I can't speak for the opposing political party, that those of us with whom you've worked in the past fully appreciate the conditions leading to your resignation last fall. It was an act of great courage and generosity for you to step down without a fight, which could have led to a scandal in a crucial election year. Your contribution to party harmony won't be forgotten. I've been asked to say that we stand ready to assist and support your re-entry into the political world in any way possible.
Thank you, John. At the moment, you'll understand if I...
Well, plenty of time for that later on.
I'll tell you later. What's the next point of procedure?
Well, the results of this hearing will be read immediately on the Senate floor. We're going to have full media coverage so that there'll be no doubt in anyone's mind as to what went on. Your name has been cleared, Frank.
Thank you all. Thank you.
There's another matter which we ought to discuss now.
Yes.
If I may, I'd like to address the question of criminal prosecution of Mrs. Ray Woodard.
I understand that it is now necessary for me or another complaining witness to take the charges against Ray Woodard to the Justice Department.
Yes, if you should fail to do so, though I see no reason why you would, the matter will be dropped. The case will not be tried automatically.
Yes.
With a confession and corroborating evidence, it should be a fairly straightforward case.
How do you wish to proceed?
I don't. I'm not going to press charges.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
But, Mr. Ryan, a serious crime has been committed. Without your formal complaint...
I understand that. However, gentlemen, not very long ago, my sister, Mary, was killed. She was murdered. The rage and the confusion at the senselessness of her death has been with me and my family and will be there for as long as we remember who she was and what we've lost by her death. The men responsible were recently discovered and justice of one kind or another was administered, but the point is, it changed nothing except to make me appreciate the worthlessness of revenge. It has not brought my sister back. It has not made us mourn her any less. So, these events, these proceedings, are read into the record and fully publicized. My name will be cleared. I'll have what I lost, and that is all that matters to me.
You're willing to let Mrs. Woodard's action go unpunished?
She's paid for what she's done. I think she'll continue to do so for quite a while. I'm not going to press charges.
Well, that's a very generous decision. I can see you've given it a great deal of thought.
Yes, I have.
Frank, are you sure?
Yes, I am.
What are you... We're going to be out of here in 15 minutes. What are you wasting my time for?
Shut up and sit down till you're called.
Not much on looks, but a great personality. You okay, kid?
I don't know. What am I doing here? I tried to tell him I'm not one of you.
No? What do you do?
I'm an actress.
Who isn't?
I mean professionally.
So do I, honey. Okay, come on. This happens all the time. It gives them something to do. We wouldn't want you to get bored, would we, lover? They come in, make us sweep, the judge lets us go. It's supposed to keep us in line. Now relax. You got somebody who can vouch for you?
There's nobody.
What about that guy you were telling me about before, the one with the name?
Seneca?
Yeah, that one. Why don't you call him?
Oh, I can't.
Why not? You know where he is?
Well, I suppose he's at Riverside Hospital.
He's sick?
No, he works there as a doctor.
Class. Well, go ahead, give him a call. What do you got to lose? Look, I don't want to scare you, but you hit a cop. That doesn't go over big around here. Sensitive types. Go ahead.
I understand I get a phone call.
I read you your rights, didn't I? Start paying attention.
I need a dime.
Please? I know it's not part of your regular shakedown, but you might...
Please. I'd like to speak to Dr. Bullock, please.
Dr. Bullock. Hello.
It's me.
Kim?
I'm sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen at all.
What's the matter?
I'm in trouble.
Kimberly, we've been through this routine before.
No, it's not the same thing, I swear. I promise. Please, I need your help. Seneca, please.
It doesn't work anymore, Kim.
No. I need you. Please. Please.
Goodbye, Kim.
Seneca? Seneca? Please. I need another dime. Please. Please.
One call.
Come on, sport. She can have mine. I'm not using it.
Sit down with your friends and shut up.
What's going to happen now? Are they going to put us in jail?
Take it easy, honey. Come on, she's just a kid. It's just a formality. The judge will warn us against bad habits and then turn us loose.
How do you stand it? They're all so mean.
They do their jobs, we do ours. Listen, whatever happens, you gotta cooperate. Otherwise, you might land up in the slammer.
I don't care.
You don't mean that.
I do. He was supposed to help me.
Who? Your doctor friend?
He hung up.
Men.
Seneca's not like that. He thinks he's doing this for my own good.
Sorry, babe. Better luck next time.
All rise.
Take it easy now, huh?
Third criminal court is now in session. Judge Gottfried presiding.
Sorry I'm late. Well, let's get started. First case.
We have 4 ladies here, Your Honor, charged with loitering.
We wasn't.
The little blonde in the front row refused to be identified, and she's charged with resisting arrest and hitting an officer in the lawful pursuit of his duty.
She hurt you? She tried. Swear the witness.
You swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, what happened?
We picked him up on a sweep of Scully's Bar over on 175th Street. Little one in the front row there gave us a hard time.
What's your name, miss? Does anyone have anything to say?
Your Honor, we weren't bothering anyone. And since when did it become loitering to have a drink in a public place?
Oh, I wish you girls would work another town. Okay, charges dismissed. Except for the little one who won't give her name. Hold her over for trial, pending identification and a bail petition.
Honey, give the judge your name and tell him you're sorry.
Doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Let's go.
These are, of course, shabby and colorless next to the two of you.
You see?
Very hard to resist.
Oh, Barry.
Her name is Delia.
I'm gonna melt into a puddle.
Well, that's it, everybody. We did it.
I'm cleared, Ma. I'm cleared. No more suspicion, no more charges.
Yeah, Ray Woodard confessed to everything.
Confessed about what?
They're talking about the politics.
It was a private session of the Ethics Committee, but I don't think it's going to remain private for very much longer. Jack's all finishing his story now, and every senator down there has his favorite newsman.
And what did Ray tell them?
Well, just that she conspired with Samuel Addison Snow behind Frank's back. Apparently she was responsible for everything. Phony contributions, a payoff, vice presidential campaign.
And a whole bunch of people who couldn't seem to remember my name the last time I was down in Washington kept coming up to me saying, Frank, we knew it all along, shaking my hand. Everything was absurd.
What happens to Ray now? I hope they send her away for life.
Well, as Ma used to say when we were little, revenge is nothing but cold porridge, right?
You went soft?
Well, let's just say I figured public humiliation was enough punishment.
She cost you your seat in the United States Senate. You're not going to do anything?
Indeed. You know, Tizo's death didn't bring Mary back. My sending Ray to prison is not going to put me back in the U.S. Senate.
They're not going to bring charges against her unless Frank wants to, and I don't think he does.
Well, I think she deserves everything she gets. But I'm happy for you anyway.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the newspapers, they'll have it tomorrow morning. I guess the wire services will pick it up. 24 hours, Frank Ryan's not going to have to say anything to anybody.
Ma?
Ah. Son, have I told you how proud of you I am?
Once or twice, but doesn't mean you can't do it again.
No, I truly believe that I know why you won't prosecute Ray. That I find you to be so generous and big-hearted and compassionate.
I owe Ray a lot. I hurt her badly when I broke the engagement. Plus, she is going to be the speculation of a lot of gossip, a lot of humiliation. And everyone she cares about is going to know what she did and why. So I just couldn't see sending her to prison on top of all of that.
Because you're the man that you are.
Spoken like a true Irish mother, you know that?
And I am indeed. And proud as punch.
Thank you. Now I have got to call Jillian. You know, it's amazing. You can dial direct right to the hotel in London.
You know, when I was growing up, the nearest phone was about a mile down the road at nearest pub.
No more. I tell you, Ma, I wish you could have been there with me. Just wish you could have seen it, you know?
Pity.
Ah, all the circuits are busy. Uh-oh.
Why is Graham sitting on the kitchen table?
Why is Graham sitting on this? Because that's the best seat in the house, that's why.
Give me an airplane ride.
Well, are you asking or demanding here? All right. Because I like you, John, we'll give you an airplane ride. Spread your wings. Spread your wings. Come on, head up, head up.
Come on now, be careful, Francis.
That's right. There isn't much room in here, but skies are clearing, Jono. In a few weeks, Jill and I will get married. We'll make a nice home for you. And then you will get to have your own room, plus the nicest, the newest train set in the whole world. What do you think?
Will I see Graham?
You can see Graham and Dot anytime you want. It's going to be a happy home, John. I promise you that.
The next time I want lip from you, I'll ask for it. Your name's Seneca? You're a doctor?
Seneca Bowler.
Would you by any chance be acquainted with a kid about 18, short blonde hair, blue eyes, a girl?
I assume you're talking about Kimberly Harris?
Kimberly. Kim, yeah. Yeah, that's her name.
Look, lady, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but whatever it is, forget it, huh? I've had it with Kim's ploys and manipulation.
You've had it?
You just tell her that hysterical phone calls are not going to upset me, and I am not going to change my mind.
Look, I took the trouble to find you. I think you ought to at least listen.
Briefly.
When I came in, I thought you were a father.
No.
Then I thought maybe you were a friend. Well, you don't sound like no friend.
Well, if that's all you have to say.
Honey, I'm just getting started. Now, I don't want to upset you. I mean, that would be a terrible thing to do. But I think you ought to know that there is one scared, miserable kid sitting down in city jail right now on account of you.
Kim's in jail?
Where she'll be for about the next 30 days, I'd say, thanks to you hanging up on her.
What the hell are you talking about?
She spent her one dime calling you for help, and she didn't get 10 cents worth of attention. You can be sure of that.
Maybe you better tell me what this is all about. I don't even know who you are.
My name's Tony, and I'm an acquaintance of the kids.
An acquaintance?
Well, me and some of my girlfriends work out of a bar called Scully's. Well, your little friend came in this morning, looking like she'd spent the night sleeping at the airport, which is what she did. And we got talking. She was miserable, saying how she didn't have any family, no friends, no one who cared about what happened to her. Next thing we all knew, there were cops all over the place, and she was pulled in with the rest of us.
On what charge?
Well, loitering is the main bust, but she took a swing at one of them, so they hit her with resisting arrest and going after a police officer in lawful pursuit of his duty.
Is that why you're out and she's still in jail?
That and the fact that she didn't have a friend to bail her out.
How is she? I mean, was she hurt?
How the hell do you think she is?
And you look, there's a lot more to this than just my refusing to answer a hysterical phone call.
No, you don't mean it.
Kim happens to be a person about whom I care very much.
Yeah.
I want to do whatever's good for her.
She sure needs help right now. I don't know if from you or whoever. She's sure miserable.
It isn't possible that this is some kind of an act.
Would I come all the way uptown if I thought so? Being in the cooler is sure no act.
There are other people that she could call.
Yeah, she could call the President or the Queen of England. I thought you were her friend.
I am her friend.
But my friends go bail for me.
I'm sorry. I realize you're trying to help.
Damn straight I am, and why aren't you?
Because I'm not sure that my help is going to be good for Kimberly.
I suppose you can always leave her there.
That's the choice, isn't it?
Here's the news, then.
Yeah, well, as long as I need it, that's all that's really important, right?
Yeah, do I? Is there anything I want to see more? Show me those trains. Go show him the trains. I'll see you later.
He loves the trains.
What are you going to do now, Frank? You going to try to get back in the Senate?
I might, I don't know.
Oh, Frank, you got to.
Back to politics. Oh, it'll be just like the old days.
Oh, what I really want to get into is politics, but I'd have to start off at a local level, a very low office.
Back to the beginning again?
Yeah, in a way.
Well, why don't you just be a lawyer with exciting clients like Ken George Jones?
Well, Ken George Jones is Jillian's client. I like theatrical law, but politics is what I really love.
Well, you won't have any trouble putting the old team together, Frank. I can promise you that.
Oh, it'll be just like in the beginning. You and Bob and Jim.
Well, that wouldn't be too bad. Bob, we don't know for sure.
Oh, Lordy, look who's here.
Hello, everybody.
Seneca?
Frank, I wonder if I could have a minute.
Yeah, sure, all right. Come on. Haven't seen you in here in quite a while.
No. Look, I I'd rather go for help almost anywhere else, but the fact is you are Kimberly's lawyer, and I believe I can trust in your discretion.
I like to think so.
Well, she's in trouble, and she needs a lawyer.
What sort of trouble?
The immediate problem is she's been arrested. She's in jail. Yeah, she was arrested this morning in some kind of crummy bar. There was a sweep. A bunch of prostitutes were rounded up, and Kim was taken in by mistake.
Well, did she have any identification?
I don't know the details, but apparently she caused some kind of fuss. I thought with your police background...
Do you know where she is?
Yeah.
Let's go get her out. Ma, if you'll excuse me for a minute, I have to go.
Oh, sure, son.
Yeah. Goodbye, mate.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye. Dee, why don't you put one of these flowers that Barry gave you in your hair? Might look pretty.
Curious? Don't you want to know what that was about?
Well, I suppose if Francis wanted us to know, he would have told us.
Well, I think it's terrible being that mysterious. After all, I'm still family.
Yes, dear.
Or I was. At least I have Barry. Isn't he wonderful?
Well, he's impossible to dislike, yes.
Pretty hard not to fall in love with, too.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm looking for Mr. or Mrs. John Ryan.
Well, I'm Mrs. Ryan.
Hi. I wonder if you could tell me where I might be able to find Barry Ryan, formerly of Chicago. I talked to his family there, and they said he was in New York and to ask here.
Barry?
You know where he is, then?
Yes, I do, but...
Oh, it's about time. You have no idea how hard it was catching up with him. Then again, he always was elusive.
Terrific train.
Hello, Barry. Long time no see.
Elizabeth.
And here I'd begun to think you'd forgotten me.
Well, how in the world could you let a thought like that cross your mind? When did you get in? Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Does this mean you haven't got a hotel yet? Because I was just about to go downtown and we can share a cab.
I don't have a hotel yet because I don't have any money, Barry.
Ah, shocking, Elizabeth. That's disgraceful.
Ask me why I don't have any money, Barry.
Elizabeth here is one of the most sensational tap dancers in the continental United States. Unfortunately, tap isn't the commercial commodity it used to be.
That's not the reason.
And never mind, Elizabeth. Everything is going to be fine. I'll make a few phone calls. You'll have all the club dates you can
I
handle.
don't want a club date.
Will you excuse us? I'll just get Elizabeth
I
settled.
want my last 3 months alimony.
Alimony?
I'm Elizabeth Schrank Ryan, Barry's ex-wife.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, bail's arranged. Kim can leave with us.
Thank you. I mean that.
There's no thanks necessary. Kim's my client. You were exactly right in calling me, Seneca.
Thank you, Charlie.
Sure, Robert. Are you all right?
I am now.
Frank pulled some strings and Bob arranged bail. You're free to leave.
Thank you. I'm sorry to be so much trouble.
What were you doing in that bar to begin with?
I didn't have any place else to go.
Kim, what happened to your identification?
I don't know. I think some guy took my wallet. Had a lot of problems with that, huh?
Well, Kim, you could have explained that to the arresting officer.
I tried. He wouldn't listen to me. And I didn't want to tell him I was Ray Woodard's daughter. He would have been all over the papers, and she probably would have disowned me anyway. And I didn't think to call you, and when I called Seneca, well, he didn't understand.
Well, never mind. When it's all over, we'll take you home.
Where's home? Well, I can't stay with my mother.
Excuse me.
Anyway, if one of you will give me some money for a hotel, maybe I can go there for a couple of days and try to figure out what's happened now.
Kim, why don't you come home to my mother? You shouldn't be in a hotel tonight by yourself. She'll be glad to have you.
Well, thank you, but I can't.
Frank. Can I talk to you a second?
Yeah, right. Don't say no yet.
I really was in trouble this time.
I'm sorry about hanging up. I really didn't understand.
After you did that, I really didn't care what happened.
Where did you go after you left me last night?
I went to the airport. But then I knew there was no place else where I belonged. So I just sat up there all night, and then I went to that bar.
Is that where you met Tony?
Is that how you found me?
Yeah, she came to my office.
She's a good person.
She is.
I want to find her and thank her.
I have an address.
Don't be angry, please. I'm not going to ask you for anything.
Come home with me, Kim.
What do you mean?
Just that. We can't talk here. I don't want you with Maeve or some hotel. Will you come?
Oh, yes.
I'm taking Kim home with me. Will you take care of whatever has to be done here?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
I'll be in touch.
Huh? You like that new slide? You bet. Hey, let me get a little fresh air and... Ooh, then we'll check out your room. You haven't seen your toy box in a long time. It'll be like brand new, huh? And then, here you go. Ruff, 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 ruff. And then when you're checking out your room, maybe I can get a little work done here. And then we'll have lunch. And then you take a nap for about an hour. And then we'll go to the playground, okay? Remember last year you couldn't do much with the swings and the slides and the seesaw? Your mother had to hold you in her lap most of the time. Here. Let me give you a hand.
SoapNet's got the skinny on Genoa City. Be there for all the breakups, breakdowns, and backstabbing action with the corporate kingpins and dazzling divas of this daring drama. The Young and the Restless. Coming up next, only on SoapNet.